Hello there, and welcome to another Thoughts from the Soul video. Today, I wanted to shoot this one on the fly a little bit. I'm not using my good camera or anything. But today I wanted to talk a little bit about two main questions. The first one is, are you really confused? I mean, just really, truly confused? And the second question is, do you have a what for in your life? Do you have a bigger cause? Do you have a bigger picture in your life? Now, when I talk about confusion, I'm not talking about someone who may honestly be confused, like somebody who has dementia or Alzheimer's or something like that. No, I'm talking about somebody who is capable of figuring out the answer, is capable of getting to the bottom of an answer, is capable of figuring it out themselves. My contention is that nobody is truly confused. You just may not care about figuring out the answer. For example, I don't like math. Never have. In fact, I've hated it. I think that math was just an impediment to me getting through my journalism classes at the University of Alabama. But my hatred and my dislike, and to be honest, my distrust of math really goes back as far as I can remember. I would say it goes back as far as the second grade. I was in a class taught by a Mrs. Smalley, who did not live up to her name, if memory serves. But it was in her class where we were introduced to the concept of multiplication. Now, I'm talking simple multiplication. You know, what's 3 times 5, or what's 2 plus, what's 2 times 7, okay? But here's the thing. We were given a list, a sheet of, I think it was like 50 multiplication questions, and we had a short amount of time to finish these. The dangerous part of it was that not only did you get marked off if you got the question wrong, but you got marked off if you didn't answer the question. So when the time came, time was called, and I had maybe completed 30 of the 50 questions and maybe got half of those right. That made for some pretty gnarly test scores. Now, this led me to be diagnosed with a learning disability in math. I don't want to talk about it. But I was never comfortable in math. Never was. But I eventually learned to make math work for me. I'll take you to my 20s. I was sitting courtside. I was doing on the radio some of the worst high school basketball ever played. I'm serious. One of the games that I announced, the halftime score was 8-6. Yeah, your scoring summary took 30 seconds. But I learned how to make math work for me sitting courtside doing those games. I never used a calculator in figuring out stats or score differentials. I just figured out that if you counted by either 2s or 3s or 1s, then you can be pretty accurate most of the time. Sometimes I had to use my fingers. I didn't care. but I made it work for them. So my contention is nobody's really confused. We just don't care enough to find out the answer. Like, I honestly do not care about rocket science. I know there are men and women way smarter than me who are working to send astronauts to the moon, to Mars, to asteroids. So it's not something that I really care about. I'll just know that when the thing blasts off and there's a bunch of fire shooting out of it, and everybody gets to space safely, then I'll know they did their job. And the second thing I wanted to talk about here today is the idea of a so-called what for. And I think it can relate to my first point. The what for in life is, do you have a bigger picture? Do you have a bigger plan? Do you have a bigger goal? I am a writer because I enjoy it, because I am good at it. But I write to help people to be entertained and to help people to think, to help people to feel something from the words that I wrote. That is my what for. Would I like to make a comfortable living at it? Of course, but that is not the main goal. I am moving to New York City. I am moving to New York City because I want to do it. I've been wanting to move to a bigger, real city for probably 15 years now. That is my why. My what for is that there is way more potential, way more opportunity, way more chances to become who and what I want to become. That is my what for. The same thing with becoming a life coach. I am becoming a life coach because I believe I'll be good at it. I have been told that I am a natural coach and that I would be good at it. This is of the opinions of people that I admire. And I think it's something that can help me help people. That is my why. My what for in that is that I have a bigger story that I want known about me. I have a more important story that I want known about me. And that story, I believe, can help people get through obstacles, get through barriers, and overcome their own lives. That is my what for. My challenge to you is to think about the deeper question. Think about not just why you do what you do, but what is in it for you? What is your what for? What is in it for the world? And leave your comments below or on social media, and I'd love to hear from you. Once again, thank you so much for watching. And there is also a blog post that I posted just yesterday on the topic of confusion and relatedly the topic of what for. I'm going to leave that link in the description box so you can certainly check it out. And also stay tuned to this channel for more information. Also, my new website is in development, I promise. I hope to get it up here by Thanksgiving, which is in 6 days. So stay tuned for that. And as always, thank you so much for watching.